Have you ever woken up and quietly told yourself, "Today I will change my life"? But then the day comes and goes, and everything stays the same. You stay in bed a little longer. You reach for your phone. You delay. You promise yourself, "Maybe tomorrow." But tomorrow never comes, because the truth is, it's not motivation that you are missing. It's something deeper, something quieter, something stronger. It's discipline. Let me tell you something that changed me forever. I used to wait for motivation. I thought it would arrive like a wave, lifting me up, pushing me forward. That one day I would wake up, feeling powerful, feeling ready. But most days I didn't feel powerful. I felt small. I felt lost. I felt tired, so I waited and waited, but nothing came. Life kept moving, and I stayed still. I kept asking, why do I feel stuck? Why can't I keep going? Why do I begin things, but never finish? Then I heard a sentence. That changed everything. If you have no discipline, you will stay weak forever. It wasn't said in anger. It wasn't meant to hurt. It was said like a mirror, quiet but honest. And I understood. I wasn't failing because I was lazy. I was failing because I only moved when I felt like it, and most days I didn't feel like it, so nothing changed. But discipline is different. Discipline doesn't wait for good feelings. It doesn't care about perfect conditions. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't ask for permission. Discipline whispers, "Do it anyway." Even when you are tired, even when you are unsure, even when your heart feels heavy. Discipline does not shout, it just stays and keeps you moving. Imagine this. It's early morning. The sky is still dark. Your bed is warm. Your room is quiet. And something inside you says, "Not today." But then you sit up, put your feet on the floor, and move. Not because you feel like it, but because you promised yourself you would. That is discipline. Discipline is not dramatic. It is not loud. But it is powerful because it builds a life. Not in one day, but in many small, ordinary moments. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the fire you keep alive. Anyone can act once when they're excited. But can you act when you're exhausted, when it's quiet, when no one is watching? That is when strength is born, not in excitement, but in repetition. You don't need more quotes. You don't need more plans. You don't need to be perfect. You just need one thing: to show up. Again and again, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when you feel like it doesn't matter, because it does. So how do you build discipline? Not with pressure, not with fear. You build it with small, simple acts. You say no to distractions. You say yes to movement. You make space for the things that matter, even when no one else understands, like walking for 10 minutes, even if your body is tired, like speaking English out loud, even if you feel nervous, like going to sleep on time, even if everyone else is still awake. None of these things are easy, but each one is a gift to your future self. Discipline is love. In its quietest form, it is the way you say, "I believe in who I am becoming," even when today feels small. Real strength doesn't come from what you feel. It comes from what you choose. And you don't have to feel strong. To be strong, you just have to choose. To keep going, even when it's not easy, even when your mind says stop. You will never regret the times you showed up, but you might regret the times you waited for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is the one you create. When you stop waiting, and start living. You are not too late. You are not too weak. You are not too broken. You are just one decision away from building something new. Let today be that decision. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build. One act at a time, one promise at a time, one morning at a time, and it begins here. Not with the loud voice of motivation, but with the quiet voice that says, I will keep going, even when it's hard, even when I'm tired, even when no one sees it, because I see it, and I know where I'm going. And when you fall, because we all fall, discipline says, stand up again. That is what makes you strong, not your perfection, but your persistence, not your talent, but your consistency, not your inspiration, but your action. So if today you feel weak, that's okay, but don't stay there. Get up, take one step, and then another. Even if they are small, even if they are shaky, they still count. You don't need to move fast. You just need to move forward. Again, and again, and again. Discipline is the quiet power that builds an unshakable life. And that life can be yours. It starts now. And it starts with one choice. Choose yourself, choose your future, choose to do it anyway. Because the strongest version of you is waiting on the other side of that choice. And she's worth fighting for.